Ladies, if you went carnivore to feel better, but you're still tired, moody, or stuck around the middle, your hormones are talking. And today, I'll show you 5 clues you should never ignore. By the end of this video, you'll know which hormone signals matter most, what they usually mean, and what to tweak in your carnivore or low-carb plan over the next 4 to 8 weeks. And if you're new here, hi. I'm Dr. Tony Hampton, a board-certified family and obesity medicine doctor with a master's in nutrition and functional medicine. And on this channel, we focus on root causes. Women have a special place in my heart, especially earlier in my career. I did prenatal care and delivered hundreds of babies, then took care of those moms and kids for years. But before we dive in, tell me in the comments, if you're a woman on carnivore or low carb, what's the one symptom you wish would finally go away? Hot flashes, cramps, brain fog, anxiety, weight around the middle. Put it below so we can learn from each other. Or if you're doing well, just put a happy face in the comments. Here's the big idea. Your carnivore diet probably isn't failing. In most cases, your hormones are giving you feedback that stress, sleep, timing, or how you're doing carnivore needs attention. Later, I'll share the hormone clue I see missed most often, even by doctors, especially in women over 40. Let's break down the 5 hormone clues in plain English. Clue number 1, your cycle disappears or becomes wildly unpredictable. If your period vanished for a few months after going strict carnivore, or suddenly shows up whenever it wants, that's estrogen and progesterone talking. Cutting carbs lowers insulin and inflammation, which is good. But if you also undereat, overfast, and stay stressed, your brain hears we're in famine and turns down reproductive hormones. On carnivore, you still need enough food and enough fat. If you're living on one small meal, lots of coffee, and intense workouts, that's not a lifestyle. That's a stress test. Most women do better with at least 2 solid meals, fatty cuts, and a season of easing up on aggressive fasting while hormones settle. Clue number 2, brutal hot flashes, night sweats, and broken sleep. Perimenopause and menopause can do that. But if things get worse after going low carb, it's often an estrogen shift plus stress hormones like cortisol. You cut sugar, insulin comes down, but now your nervous system says, we're exhausted. If you wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. roasting in bed, that's often a blood sugar and cortisol dance. Too little food, very late meals, alcohol, or just a little dark chocolate can poke the system. Many women sleep better with a solid protein and fat meal earlier in the evening. No sugar treats, and a simple wind down routine, plus magnesium and salt that tells the brain we're safe. Clue number 3, hair falling out, feeling cold, and constipation. These are thyroid whispers. Some women start carnivore and accidentally slash calories and minerals. The thyroid hears, we need to conserve, and metabolism slows. Hair sheds, your bowel slows, and you feel like you're living in a refrigerator. The myth is, carnivore ruined my thyroid. The mechanism is usually that you've starved your thyroid of energy and nutrients. Make sure you're eating enough total food, using salt, including egg yolks and maybe seafood for iodine. And if these symptoms persist, work with your clinician to check thyroid labs instead of guessing. Clue number 4, stubborn belly fat, surprise carb cravings, and feeling wired but tired. That's the cortisol insulin tango. Even on carnivore, you can stay inflamed and insulin resistant if your stress is sky high. You're sleeping 5 hours and you live on coffee and heavy cream instead of real meals. Your body says, I don't feel safe. So let's store fat and keep her on high alert. Mindset shift. Carnivore is the foundation, not the whole house. If your brain is still in fight or flight, it will fight you on fat loss. Prioritize regular meals, turn off the phone at night, walk after eating, and practice saying no so you stop living in constant emergency mode. Clue number 5, mood swings, anxiety, and low libido that don't match your clean eating. You changed your food, but you still feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster. Or the thought of intimacy feels like another task. That's your sex hormones, progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, plus brain chemicals like serotonin and dopamine asking for support. Low carb and carnivore usually help by stabilizing blood sugar and lowering brain inflammation. So if you've gone very low fat or you're afraid to eat enough, your body may not have the raw materials to make hormones. Remember, cholesterol is a building block for hormones, not the villain. For many women, a little more egg yolk, fatty beef, or salmon plus real rest makes a big difference than adding another supplement. So what's the practical plan? First, food. Build your plate around fatty red meat, eggs, and if you tolerate them, some seafood and dairy. 2 to 3 real meals a day, be grazing or living on coffee plus something. Second, timing. Give yourself a consistent eating window most days, but don't treat extreme fasting like a personality trait. If your cycle is missing, sleep is wrecked, or hair is falling out, your body doesn't need more restriction. It needs safety. Third, measure what matters. Don't obsess over the scale. Track your energy, sleep, mood, cycle patterns, and waist and hip measurements. Those tell the hormone story much better than a single number. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but Dr. Hampton, what about coffee and dairy? What if I work nights? Coffee and dairy are tools. For some women, a little coffee and some butter or cream is fine. For others, coffee is liquid anxiety and dairy stalls progress. If your heart is racing, your sleep is awful, and you're drinking 4 or 5 cups a day, that's feedback to cut back and eat more real food. If you work nights, you may not get perfect circadian rhythm, but you can protect hormones by keeping meals consistent, minimizing junk on shift, and creating a fake night. Dark room, cool temperature, same wind down every time. Here's the lesser known pearl I promise. Leptin, your I'm full and safe hormone, loves consistency. When you yo-yo between fast and famine, or 3 days of perfection followed by a weekend carb blowout, leptin gets confused. A calm, steady, low-carb pattern with enough fat tells leptin, we're okay. You can let go now. But let me pause for a second. If this is helpful so far, tap that like button so YouTube will share it with more women trying to heal their hormones. And if you're new here and care about metabolic health, consider subscribing so you don't miss future videos. Here's a quick recap. A missing or chaotic cycle, worsening hot flashes and night sweats, hair loss with feeling cold and constipated, stubborn belly fat with carb cravings, and mood changes or low libido are not random. They're hormone messages. Now, I'd love to hear from you. In the comments, tell me which hormone clue sounds most like your story right now, and what one change you're going to experiment with over the next 2 weeks. This is Dr. Hampton, reminding you, you're not broken, you're getting feedback. Let's listen to it together.